Sudo with password in one command line? On busy days, I'd like to run on the night and go to bed, hoping the application would automatically be installed. But what I see the next day is the screen where sudo asks me for the password. So how could I run sudo with password in one command line, or is there any other method to do this?
Yes, use the S switch which reads the password from stin. So for your case it would look like this. Of course, replace password with your password.
Set histignore to sudo s. Then pass your password safely to sudo. Histignore means to not save this command into the history. That is the history in memory or /bash_history file. For example, the below will safely pipe your password to the sudo command, without retaining a history of your password. S means to use stin for the password. K means to ignore cached credentials to force sudo to always ask. This is for consistent behavior. The downside to the above method is that if you want to see the commands you ran in the history later on, they won't be there. Another method is to update the sudo authentication credential cache. Default is enabled with 5 minutes timeout, then run the sudo separately. But the downside of this is that you'll need to be aware of the 5-minute cache. For example, note I ran a sudo before each command to ensure that the sudo cache is updated, as the default is 5min2s. Yes, who am I shouldn't take 5 minutes, but I figure might as well have it run before each command for consistency. You could also put export histignore equals sudo s in your /.bashrc file, then load it with /.bashrc or log off then log in. However, I'm thinking using this for scripting purposes, so I'll keep it at the top of all my scripts for best security practices. Setting echo sudo sv to a variable instead might also be a good idea, then just run the variable before each command that needs root privileges. See Janner's comment. John T's comment should also include the k parameter, as if you run sudo s without k and sudo authentication cache already has your credentials, and is still valid, default sudo authentication cache is 5 minutes, then bash will run your password as a command instead, which is bad.
You can do this too. You could also configure sudo with visudo to allow you user to use make as sudo without password.
If you want to support the channel, please consider subscribing.